Anyway, tonight I'm going to do something different. We're going to talk about all the movies of the 50s again. Some of the 50 movies were really good, some of them were really awful, and some of them were just campy is right. Now, in some of these movies, they actually had gimmicks. There was this one movie called The Undead, which actually came that if you came to the theater and died while you were watching this movie, they actually had a coffin there for you, so that you didn't have to worry about going out and buying one. They had 13 Ghosts. William Castle did a whole bunch of these gimmick things. And the Tingler,
that's one of my favorites.
The Tingler was a creature that was supposed to be, if you, it grew with fear, and it grew bigger and bigger and bigger.
And attached itself to your spine, right?
Right. And then that's how you died. But
isn't that the one where they put the electrodes to different chairs in the theater?
Yes.
And they would shock
the people
to think they had the Tingler in them.
And people would scream, "It's here! It's here! It's over here!" All that, and I mean, actually, everybody did scream and all that. And they had with the Tingler, they did have this one scene where it did attack the guy on the screen who was doing the movie, and that's how they got the thing and they killed it. But everybody is said to have a Tingler in them, or some sort of creature in them that does that. That's what brings fear into you. So don't be so if you are afraid of something and it gets tighter and tighter, that's your Tingler. Okay, 13 Ghosts. That was one of my favorite ones. They gave you this thing called a ghost viewer. And it was blue or it was green. If you wanted to see the regular screen, you used blue. If you wanted to see the ghost, you used green. And of course, it wasn't like that on TV because they made it for TV after a while. But a lot of people used the green, and you saw the actual ghosts and all that. And it was a pretty good movie. It was a lot better than the remake, which is usually what ends up. The remakes really are pretty bad. But let me see. In movies I have here that started in the 50s were like, as I said, Dracula. But this is not the original Dracula. This is the Dracula that was, I guess, in the 58 with Christopher Lee. The original Bela Lugosi was in 1938, 20 years earlier. The Haunted Strangler was a Boris Karloff movie about he became this strangler who was supposed to be killed in the swamps. We have the Screaming Skull, Disembodied, The Undead. And then we had, of course, the haunted house movies for the kids. They had all the music and all that. This was the Headless Ghost. And again, the one I told you that was never remade, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Mm-hmm. We have a couple of these. They actually made three: The Creature, The Revenge of the Creature, and The Creature Walks Among Us.
But those were all original.
Those were all original.
By the same company.
Yep, and they were never made. That goes to show you that actually there are movies that can never be made again.
Now that you've said that, someone will come out and do it.
I know.
Yeah. Badly.
Just like I thought that they could never remake Wizard of Oz, which they did.
They did.
Badly.
They did, The Wiz.
Yep.
It was horrible.
And then
it should have whizzed right off the stage,
I know.
but it didn't.
And then The Wiz on a TV show was really bad.
And then we have Wicked.
Yes.
And trust me, it was wicked.
No, I don't think it was that bad. I like the music to it.
It was no Judy Garland and Toto.
No. That was something I didn't like in The Wiz, the TV show. It was supposed to deal with the dog, with Toto too. And the whole TV show did not have Toto at all. In the beginning it did, and then she just disappeared. That was it. And then we had The Fly.
Well, I will say this, when they did The Wiz live last
that's what
Christmas,
I mean, The Wiz Live.
They had Toto in it.
Yeah, but it was only for a few minutes.
Or wasn't it in the original Wiz?
No, in the original Wiz, it was the whole movie. It wasn't the whole movie.
It was? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, and live, The Wiz, Dorothy couldn't carry it.
That's right.
It was so big. Okay, then they had The Fly. They never... I don't think they did. I'm trying to think if they ever did a remake of The Fly. Yeah, they did with what's his name, which I didn't like.
Which one was that?
With Jeff Goldblum.
Hmm.
I didn't think that was really that great. Then he had Attack of the Giant Leeches. One of my favorite Halloween movies is Night of the Demon.
Mm.
That was good. I had that at home. And then we have, here's The Revenge of the Creature, The Blob, Them, The Mummy. I don't think they've ever had any Mummy movies in remake. Do you remember any?
They made some when I was...
Any what?
The Mummy.
They made some in the early 2000s, and it was...
with Christopher Lee. I mean, yeah.
I cannot remember who it was, but they have The Mummy Returns.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
Brendan Fraser.
Okay.
He made about three or four, something like that. They weren't bad, but they could have been. To me, they could have been just a little bit better.
Yeah, and they really didn't have to do with the Mummy. I mean, you didn't really see him walking around like he did in the.
In one of the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, you saw it a lot. But it was only in one of the Mummy movies he did. You actually saw the Mummy walking around, and so.
And then my favorite ones were the giant monsters, like we had. What was that one? The monster that challenged the world was a giant mollusk, and then we have the spider.
What is a mollusk?
The mollusk is a. It's a creature that lives in the sea, and it has its own little shell. It's like I guess a crab or something like that. But it isn't. It doesn't have any claws. And then Earth versus the Spider, and then the Spider, then Tarantula. And this is one of the 1950s horror monsters movie lists. That's the ones for like the kids movies, the musicals.
Monster musicals.
Oh yeah, they made
those.
They made a lot of monster musicals. They made one called Mad Monster.
Yeah. But that was an animated.
Yeah, that was
by my favorite Christmas writer. Bass Rankin.
Yeah, Mad Monster Party. But, like in this one, it was...
if you've not seen any of those, it's stop animation, which is totally different than animation today.
Yes.
They actually use clay figures, and they have to move them, and then they photograph them.
Isn't it inch by inch they have to move them?
Yes, you have to move each little thing to bring their leg up, and then stop and photograph it.
It's like the beginning.
That'd take a long time.
It's like
and it was quite expensive.
Yeah, it's like the beginning of the dinosaur movies. That's how they used to do it.
And then they frame them at like 5,000 frames a second to get them to move. I mean, it's amazing to watch them. But they have a lot of Christmas ones that way too. Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So if you ever get a chance to watch Bass Rankin at Christmas, believe me, it's worth it. Now back to the horror.
Here's something. Black horror films. Or no, I guess we did have black horror films.
Actually, that was my little Christmas plug.
Yes.
It's only 7 months away.
But this is Back from the Grave. This is black and white horror classics. This is Vampire Classics right here. I think this is from Outer Limits. Yep.
Oh, yes, that was a good show on TV.
The Bride of Frankenstein, we all know her. Back from the Grave.
I think the Bride of Frankenstein was our last landlord.
Yes. Yeah, the House on Haunted Hill, the original.
Yes, and if you get a chance to see the House on Haunted Hill, the original with Vincent Price, that is a must-see for horror buffs.
Yes. This one is the old dark house.
Big Daddy B don't find anything too horrifying, but that even had him on the edge of his seat.
Which one?
The
House on Haunted Hill.
Oh yes, that one.
Where
was
they had the
slow.
pit of acid.
Yes, that one was.
And here's
Was
the
nail
original-
biting. You didn't know what was going to happen next, and you were just waiting
Yeah,
to see.
you knew something was going.
And we won't tell you how it ends, but Daddy B jumped off his seat.
Yes. And here's the original Frankenstein where he picks up the little girl and goes, "You float, don't you?" I don't know what
Threw her
this
in the
is.
water.
Yes.
Someone should have called DCF on Frankenstein.
I have no. Oh,
I don't think they had DCF
Oh.
in Transylvania.
Okay, this one I think.
Good comment, Big Hoss.
This one is our next door neighbor trying to get inside her house before her parents find out.
Which one is that one?
I think that's the teenage vampire. The one I told you about who was she was sent away to a boarding school and he found out that she had this thing in her. All right. She was a vampire. Okay? And this little old lady teacher. What is that? And there's the creature
Which creature?
from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, yes, and that was a good one.
Mm-hmm. There's Dracula.
And these are really good, folks, because movies like Creature from the Black Lagoon and some of them, they didn't have the high tech that they have now, and it was actually a guy in a rubber suit.
Yes.
But, oh,
God, but he's scary looking. Oh, here's our black and white Christmas music movies.
black and white what?
Black and white Christmas movies. I better go back to horror, people.
Yes, we'll have to do Christmas on another night.
Yes. When it gets closer to Christmas.
It's only 7 months.
Okay. Okay, and here is Attack of the Crab Monsters, which was a very good movie. I have that one here.
Now, folks, when you watch these, do remember that in the 50s to now, technology was a little different.
Yes. And I don't know what this is.
Some of these, though, have gone on to draw themselves their own occult classics.
This picture here is a picture of a woman with a... what do you think this is?
I have no idea. Who is it?
I thought at first it was one of those old school teacher things, that they're saying, "Hey, kid, boys and girls, this is my friend Tommy the Tuba," or whatever it is. But it's not. It's I have no idea. God. Well, it stumped the Shadow Man.
And that's hard to do.
Yes. Okay, now we have The Bride of Frankenstein with Boris Karloff and Elsa Lanchester.
Elsa Lancaster.
Elsa Lancaster. And the 3D House of Wax.
The original
Yes.
was Vincent Price.
Uh-huh. Nothing can beat that one.
Nothing can beat Vincent Price and Boris Karloff if you want good old horror.
Yes. House of Wax with Phyllis Kirk, 1953. With Carolyn Jones, 1953. And he would have to bring up House of Wax 2005, which is really bad.
And a little bit of trivia, Carolyn Jones was on the Addams Family as Morticia Addams.
Yes. And then
And in the soap opera Capital.
before she died of cancer. Matter of fact, she died of cancer on that show. See what Washington can do to you?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Here's Forbidden Planet. which is part of the song on Rocky Horror Show. When